Oh my god, I've successfully consumed baklava, and we are back for this moment. What is Life doing even? We got some important choices to make. Is he going air? Is he going for mass gateways? What's he doing? It's really unclear. Here's a couple of things that we see Life doing that are really, really cool. He's built 8 Zerglings. He has some checking the sides, some moving out as the watchtowers held. And if you're Life, you know, I mean, this is kind of a hard read to make, to know exactly what he's doing, to know precisely what's up. But Life does a really cool choice that allows him to deal with a big variety of stuff. He goes for Zergling speed immediately. Notice that he got the Zergling speed before he even saw the gateways. This is kind of a big sign where we see Stalker, Sentry, and we still haven't seen anything. Notice we're at 644. This is kind of a weird thing for me to emphasize so much. Wow, 644, what's the big deal? Well, let's come back several minutes to 3:30. This is where our timing is so important. Remember back here when I was like, hey guys, he going Forge first or Gateway first? He's going Gateway first because there's no cannon. Or, excuse me, it's not that there's no cannon, there's no pylon to get a cannon down. Notice that this finishes at 3:30. Cybernetics core gets built. How long does it take? About a minute. So when does that get done? If this was finished at 3:30, this should finish right around 4:30. Boom. Now, if he built a Stargate, how long does a Stargate take to build? About a minute. It should be finished at 5:30. How long does a Phoenix take to build? 30 seconds. It should be around 6 minutes. Now, that might sound like a lot of math, but you only need to do it once. If you think your opponent went Nexus, Gateway, you should be seeing a Phoenix, if it's built as fast as possible, right around now. You should be seeing that Phoenix right around now. There's no Phoenix. I don't see a Phoenix. I don't see a Phoenix. Still don't see a Phoenix. Don't see a Phoenix. Okay, it's 6:40, and I don't see a Phoenix. He's either very, very, very patient, or he's doing something robo-y. He's doing something gateway-y. So Life gets Zergling speed. Now, if there is some kind of Phoenix play, no problem. Zerglings are absolutely fine against Phoenixes. But this is still really important. Lair comes up. Roach Warren comes up. Why? Because Life is gearing up to attack. He's building a whole bunch of Zerglings so that they finish close to when this metabolic boost is done. I should really come back to around here before he sees anything great. Now, at this point in time, Life has almost 60 drones. If there was some sort of 2-base all-in planned, no problem. Life is building Zerglings for the 2-base all-in. It's 7:30. We still haven't seen Phoenixes. This guy is early expanding to a 3rd, or he is going for some kind of 2-base, non-Phoenix, all-in. Building the Zerglings early are great against both of those. Now we start to see why Speed was built so early. It's so Life can begin to attack. So again, even though we've been doing all this very, like, stop and pause and go and make a comment and this and that, it's a very simple sort of statement. If we are starting to not think that he's going Phoenix, we can get Zergling speed. And we're especially happy to get that first on a map when a player will generally go for a fast 3rd. It turns out what Zest is actually doing is taking a 3rd and building a whole slew of gateways to defend it. And he's got +1. Life is just overrunning this with Zerglings, man. Waltzes right into the front door. Gets Burrow. Gets Gleela Reconstitution. Now with the Zerglings, Life can see everything that Zest is doing. So he can just push. Walks up, kills off the cannon, no problem. Just endlessly building units. This is a kill sequence from Life. He was preparing for a player who was going for a third. And now that it turns out that this player is in fact going for a third with a lot of gateways, Life is just like, yeah, I can just kill that. I just keep making units. I think there's only 3 geysers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there's 4 geysers. I'm wrong. Burrowing. He's doing burrow micro. Cool. Hasn't done huge damage to the economy. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do. Overlord Fearless. Not a lot of commentary here, but a lot of awesomeness. A doo 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 doo. And now for a game I don't want to cast. All right, let me put my arms down. We get equipped for this game. What we saw in that last game was Life getting the Zergling speed really fast and flooding Zerglings. It deals well if there's an all-in, because we're just making a ton of units. We have speed so we can push back pylons. It deals well with a third base. Oh, we can just attack you and bring the noise back to you. That's exactly what we wound up seeing. Delayed the layer. No big deal. Burrow and roach speed right away. Alright, now for the worst game in the universe. For a show purpose, that is. This is, strategically speaking, a brilliant game. Starts off on Nimbus. Life gets an early spawning pool. He sees a probe scouting him. There's a lot of total, utter bullshit stuff with cannons that happen on this map, so I've seen a lot of players like to get a pool first. Not a lot of Zerglings, just 2. And on this map, I think most people will hear me say that I don't like it for Zerg that much. And Life just done something that's, like, really grand. Life says, well, okay, the reason this is bad is because, you know, once I take this, I mean, it's really hard for me to go here, or, you know, here even. I mean, these bases are tricky. The fact is that Protoss, once Protoss is here, having taken a third base, Protoss can pretty quickly push. I mean, Protoss, who's here, defending this third anyways, moves up to the high ground and attacks down into the core part of the Zerg defense. So, I mean, on this map, it's kind of yucky for Zerg. Actually, I'm going to go back to the map cam. So here's what Life says. Life says, well, it's yucky because it's small. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to position I'm going to position Swarm Hosts here and rally here if the threat is this way. Rally like this if the threat is that way. And I'm just going to take my half of the map. Right? I mean, Swarm Hosts suck for defending really far spread out locations. So I don't know why this like never occurred to me simply before, but if it's a really small map, you can easily defend a lot of bases with just Swarm Hosts, which is why I really wish that Steps of War was still a ladder map. So this is Life's build. He's like, dude, I'm gonna go straight Swarm Hosts, man. Pour la défense. So the players are going to do some kind of opening build, and it doesn't matter because I'm going to skip ahead. Life, I think, is very interesting in that he's gotten 3 queens early on, but we're going to stare at his queen production for a little bit here. He starts to just add on queens and Zergling speed. Again, Zergling speed first. This exploits very little. Evolution chambers. Spore Crawler. Look at how defensive this is. Another queen. Queens are getting added on one at a time. After a little while, it goes up to 2 at a time. And look at this. Range attack and carapace. In fact, lair is like the last thing that gets built. Now, what's nice about getting Zergling Speed and Queen early on is that you are impenetrable to, like, basically everything. Look at these queens just healing each other. Yay! Units lost. Yay! Alright, well, we finished up with that layer. Let's go ahead and get an infestation pit. You see the geysers coming down. You don't see any extra hatcheries, as to be expected. What's Zest doing? It doesn't matter, because no one's really going to attack each other, and we have an hour of gameplay to get through. Woo, baby! Don't you know it? Zerglings with speed are nice to try to control the third, but we don't really care that much about that as Zerg. Zest is trying to kill drones. That's great, but that doesn't really matter because the game's an hour long. 2-2 upgrades, baby. Baby. Super strong, super fast, ready to deal. There's a couple timing pushes that 2-2 will hit and be good against. Double Spire, double Boss. We begin to see life just become the king of turtle. Alright. Zest is just like, dude, really? Are you... really? Come on, man. Alright, at 14 minutes, we're going to go ahead and do a little pause, and boom. Alright. Alright. Whew! What's the plan, man? If you're Zerg, what's the plan? If you're Protoss, what's the plan? What's the plan? What are we trying to do? What is our goal, even? Just looking around. Okay. I'm going to present to you the longest term goal that you will ever see. The longest term goal. This, okay, I want you to see this again. Look, it's 14 minutes into the game. And I present to you the longest goal of all time. Okay, here we go. Everything in StarCraft 2 is about money, resources, and therefore expansions. Let's take a look at the map cam. Life. Who I need to zoom in on. There we go. Life is saying, all this is mine. These 7 bases. I'm going to take these 7. With my swarm hosts here, I can deny this base by rallying swarm hosts. And I can deny this base by rallying swarm hosts. And therefore, I will eventually whittle you down, Protoss, because I am denying this, I am denying this, and once all these 7 bases are mined out, I can take this one. Oftentimes, Zerg will win on these 7 bases, but in case of ties, Zerg can guarantee get this one. Why? Because Swarm Host, Corruptor, Viper, with infinity rearrangeable defensive structures, wins. It's just too good. It's too much better than any Protoss composition. Ooh, that pop hurt. Damn. Now, what's Protoss's goal? That's Zerg's goal. What Protoss's goal is to deny this. It's just to deny many, many bases. So, what we're going to see is Protoss positioning his stuff seemingly real weird, and then emphasizing denial. So cool. Emphasizing denial. So, from Protoss' point of view, Protoss says, oh, if there's swarm hosts and that's your goal, we're going to be going half map versus half map. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to deny your map half as much as possible. Look at this. Instant fleet beacon for teching up the Tempest. We're going to start to see expansions go up in huge numbers. Now we see the army push here. I mean, this is great and all. Actually, I got to zoom out to be able to catch all this. This is great and all, and this is fine, but we see warp-ins. Now, many people will probably think to warp in here. Why is this stupid? Because it doesn't deny this. We're trying to deny these bases. So watch these zealots. Watch the lifetime of these zealots here. Are you seeing? Are you seeing? Can you see? I feel like a precog right now. Can you see? Alright, look at this. Look at Zest. And he's shoving. I mean, he's hitting 2 places at once. He hasn't gone insane yet. He's still macroing like a reasonable person. Notice he's retreating these to the left. It's very easy to want to pull all this back to the main army. But watch these guys. I'm going to be watching them a lot this game. They're just parking. Zealot checking down here and over here. Now these zealots that were originally designed to do the counterattacking here are starting to want to focus down here. Look at this. We even sent the observer down there to deny this. These zealots, look at where they're chilling. They're chilling here, man. They're chilling here. Rest of the main army defending the bases makes complete and total sense. Nothing wrong with that. This army is staying here. We're getting some Stargates up for Tempest. We're getting some Storm up to deal with Locusts. And look at this. Seize Locusts. And where do they retreat? They retreat down here, man. These Zealots could have easily pulled up this way. They could have easily rejoined with the main army even. They could easily have pulled this way. This main job of these guys is to deny these left bases. It's great. Look, he sits here. Oh, and checks here. Oh, while continuing to apply pressure on the right side. Alright, Zest. I'm max. Time to expand, baby. Alright, we're ahead in bases. When I say ahead in bases, I don't just mean number of literal bases present on the map. I mean ahead in this grand plan of Zerg, you take your half, and I'm Protoss, I'll take my half. And Protoss's goal is to deny these extra bases. Protoss is ahead in plan. More Stargates getting built. Tempest rally back. Rally to the Overseer. The never-ending story. We can start to see here on the minimap why Life's plan is so great. We have these guys move over to there, and then swarm hosts back to there. And it covers the entire middle sweep. And then Life just takes bases behind it. Brilliant strategy from Life. And then just an even more brilliant execution from Zest, who's quickly taken all the geysers, quickly taken all these expansions. Ensuring himself to get the gas. We're at ×2 speed, and we're not even halfway done. Actually, is this even... Let me just go to this camera. Alright, so, I mean, we have Corruptors here. We have some, like, attempts with some hallucinations. But I think the big things here are that Zest is beginning to forcefully deny this side. This obviously is a problem. This is the big army that we see. And of course you hear Tempest. Doesn't matter that much. We have the 7 bases of Protoss. And these 2 things are still getting denied. Now, how do we ensure that these 2 things are still denied? You will occasionally have confrontation. But most of the time there's nothing. Spending time. We see some dudes here. We see a warp prism here. Again, what's actually happening doesn't matter. Protoss is just trying to deny these bases. So that way Protoss can lose his main army versus this main army. He can lose it. He can actually lose it. He can afford to lose it because he just has more money. He's trying to prevent Zerg from getting this. Zerg will have a more cost-effective army. And look at this. Protoss is even expanding here. And this is kind of sexy. He expands so he can recall. This is not a crazy out there move. This is a player with a metric shitload of resources saying, alright, what's my plan? My plan is to deny this base. So I'm going to go ahead and recall. Kill all this stuff off. Photon cannons, plenty. All sorts of reveals. Very unusual for a Protoss army to be all the way in here. Recall helps with that. And look at this. Just denying this base. It's not about composition, what he's exactly getting. Tempests are fantastic. It's great to have that. Storms going down, that's great. It's good to have that. It's about base denial. Boom, snipes that base. Now, what we're going to see is Life, he's going to win this battle. For sure. Totally. Zest warping him in. Warping in all the stuff. Warping in the Golden Armada. Warping it in. Warping in whatever he can to deny bases. Wait, I don't want to change this camera. I want to go to here. Look at this. Just denial, 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 denial. Now, if I open up units lost, we see Zest is losing more. But also, Life has just lost this, and has not yet gotten this, has not yet gotten this. These bases up here are doing meaningful things. These are just corruptors. These don't matter. These kind of swept up to try to find any vulnerability they could. You're hearing noises here. It's just a big old army, okay? It doesn't really matter. As I speed up to ×8 speed and park my camera somewhere where it isn't so noisy. We see these Dark Templars still killing this off. The longest plan of all time. A little bit of an encounter. It doesn't matter. There's Archons and Tempests and all other things. Oh my. This is a Void Ray trying to retreat. You hear them? They're Tempests even. Okay. Moving along. Now this is really the target base to eliminate. This guy right here. The guy I'm looking at. We're hanging out. We're hanging out still. We're waiting. We're just hanging out. Going down here and in through here is very, very risky because we have a weaker army. We might be able to pull it off if we had ground forces. That's why the recall was so important to all that. With Storm, the Corruptors don't beat this, but without Storm, the Corruptors do beat this. Oh my god. Oh. This is getting denied at least. Doo-doo-doo. Here's a fight. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo-doo. You know, there is a push happening. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, there's 44 corrupt. I mean, it's just no one's really guaranteed any win or loss or whatever. But this does allow Zest to do this shit. Now, you heard me say this before. The Corruptors should generally beat the Tempests in a straight-up fight. This push allowed some storms to go off on the Corruptors, which allowed the Tempest to sneak in. I think I may have misspoke. The Corruptors win in a straight-up fight. So the fact that he weakened them a little bit allows him to walk out here, snipe, and then pull right back again. Alright. Stuff's happening again. The focus is on denying these expansions. The longest gameplay of all time. Ooh, an expansion attempt. Denied. Never ending. Target fires. Okay. Now, in a straight up fight, Life will generally win. In a straight up fight, Life will generally win. Did Life win? Yes. But, oh, thank God, we are at the 50-minute mark and we finally get to see why the hell Life was able to win. Because he had a great, huge-ass number of Corruptors and Queens. Wonderful. But guess what? Boom! Look at that money. Look at that. Look at the gas that is stockpiled up by denying Zerg these bases for so long. After all that crap. Protoss finally can exert the fact that he has more resources. See that base? See how it got denied? That's what I'm talking about. Let's look at money. No money. No money. No money. No money. No money. We already did no money over here. This is it. It's just this one and this one. These are the bases, man. Bases are it. Now let's look at the army tab. Oh, look at the Golden Armada's army size. Where it once was 44 corruptors is now 27. Oh! Life's struggling, life low on gas. The Golden Armada. Again, the goal, the longest goal of all time, to deny these bases as long as possible. Because there's no way Protoss is going to take either of these. Not a chance in hell. We can even leave High Templar here to storm. Army value. Surge behind in gas. Been behind a long time. Denying the geysers. Long-range mining makes a lot of sense at this point. Denying that as well. Pretty sick, right? And he's gonna get another base. Very dangerous move. But with the recall, can get out easily. Oh my god, what a long game. The longest game. Very simple plan. Long game. Long cat. The game. So long. Killing this off like a boss. Continuing to deny. I mean, look at this. In the final fight, what once was 44 corruptors is just not that high anymore. Void Rays are helping a lot in this conflict because they have the invincible upgrade. Oh, I'm so glad we're through that game. Oh my god, that took forever! But was still a simple plan. If you're playing against Swarm hosts on any map, you can do this. You can say, what are my guaranteed bases? What are his guaranteed bases? Let me think of the way to deny the last to take bases. The last to take bases. And deny those again and again and again. Brilliant play by Zest. Painful as an observer to just see, oh, it's 57 minutes. At least it wasn't 3 hours. When we come back, we're going to do games 4 and 5, and then done. Run and gun and done.